Tonight's story follows a journalist who moves into an old apartment. The same apartment where an entire family mysteriously vanished 10 years ago. As he starts writing their story, he begins to see them in his dreams. But soon, something terrifying happens. He starts forgetting things. His name, his past, his reality. And then he discovers something horrifying. The story he's writing is his own. This is a tale of guilt, forgotten memories, and restless spirits. A haunting where the past never lets go. Will he escape this nightmare? Or will he disappear forever, like the family before him? Listen till the end. This story is packed with suspense, emotion, and a twist that will leave you speechless. And if you enjoy stories like this, make sure to subscribe to Dark Night, like the video, and share it with your horror-loving friends. So sit back, turn off the lights, and let's begin tonight's terrifying story. The forgotten where memories fade in shadows. The haunted apartment. It was late at night. The city that never sleeps had finally settled into an eerie quiet. Daniel, a journalist known for chasing unsolved mysteries, sat at his old wooden desk inside a dimly lit apartment. He had recently moved into this building, a crumbling, forgotten structure in the older part of town. But this wasn't just any apartment. 10 years ago, a whole family had vanished from this very unit. No trace, no clue, no closure. Daniel had always been drawn to strange cases, disappearances, urban legends, ghost stories that no one else would touch. That's why, despite the warnings, he chose this apartment. He was determined to write the full story of the missing family, their lives, their last days, and what might have happened to them. On his first night of research, Daniel opened a dusty old file full of newspaper clippings and police reports. As he read, a chill crept through the room. The walls seemed to whisper. Faint, unintelligible murmurs drifted through the air, so soft he couldn't tell if they were real or just his imagination. He got up, pressed his ear to the wall. Silence. That night, he had a dream, vivid and unsettling. A little girl in a white dress stood in the corner of a dark room. She looked up at him with wide, scared eyes and said, "Daddy hasn't come home yet. I'm scared." Daniel jolted awake, heart pounding. Sweat clung to his forehead. The dream had felt too real, like he had stepped into someone else's memory. In the morning, he wrote the dream down in his notebook. Probably stress, he told himself. Just my mind playing tricks. But deep down, it had felt like more than that. Over the next few days, Daniel dug deeper. He interviewed old neighbors, the ones who hadn't moved away. Most refused to talk. One elderly woman, after some hesitation, said only one thing: "Son, what's gone should stay gone." That night, he dreamed again. This time, he saw the family. The same little girl, her brother, their mother, and father, all sitting at a dinner table, smiling stiffly. Their laughter echoed, hollow and strange. Then, all at once, they turned and looked directly at him. He gasped and woke up. His head felt heavy, foggy. He stumbled to his desk. His laptop screen was on. A single line was typed into a blank document. "You're writing our story, but do you even remember who you are?" Daniel froze. Something was terribly wrong. Pieces missing. Daniel couldn't shake the message from his head. "Do you even remember who you are?" He hadn't typed it. He was sure of that. But there it was, clear as day on his laptop screen. Maybe it had been a glitch. Maybe he had sleepwalked. Or maybe, just maybe, something else was happening. Over the next few days, things got stranger. One morning, he woke up with his phone placed neatly in the freezer. The next night, he found muddy child-sized footprints on his kitchen floor. He lived alone. No visitors. No kids. Each time he sat down to write the article, the same images came back. The little girl's voice, the mother's empty stare, the echo of that hollow laughter. His dreams became more vivid, more personal. Now, he wasn't just observing the family. He was sitting with them, eating dinner, tucking the kids in at night. And each time he woke up, he remembered less about his real life. He forgot his own birthday. He couldn't recall the last time he spoke to his editor. When he looked at a framed photo of his parents, he had to squint hard to remember their names. Something was taking pieces of him, Memory by memory, desperate for answers, Daniel visited the city records office. He asked for any archived information about the building and the vanished family. The woman behind the counter typed something into her computer, then paused. "The file is sealed," she said. "Sealed? Why?" "By police order. It's not open to the public anymore." Frustrated, Daniel asked, "Do you remember their names?" "The family." She hesitated, then said slowly, I think the father's name was Daniel." He blinked. "Daniel?" "Yes," she said, then frowned. "Wait, that can't be right." Daniel backed away, heart pounding. Was it coincidence? Just someone with the same name? That night, the dream changed again. He stood in the apartment's hallway. The lights flickered. The little girl walked toward him, holding a bell in one hand and a drawing in the other. She handed him the drawing, a stick figure family. A father, mother, and 2 kids. He looked closer. The father's figure had his name written below. "Daniel, I told you," the girl whispered. "Daddy never came home." He woke up, gasping. This time, his notebook was open on the desk. Pages had been torn out. A single line was written across the top. "You didn't move in. You came back." Daniel stared at the words, his hands trembling. Was he writing their story, or was he reliving it? The cracks in time. Daniel stopped leaving the apartment. He couldn't trust the world outside anymore, or maybe he couldn't trust himself. Every time he stepped out, something felt off. Street names looked unfamiliar. People stared at him like they recognized him, only to look confused when he made eye contact. His reflection in shop windows lingered a moment too long. He was losing his grip, and fast. Inside the apartment, things grew worse. He started hearing footsteps in the hallway when no one was there. Doors open and close by themselves. The bathroom mirror fogged up with words he didn't write. "Remember us. Why did you leave? You were supposed to protect us." His laptop became unreliable, turning on in the middle of the night, displaying photos he'd never taken. One showed him holding hands with 2 children in the park. Another showed him kissing a woman's forehead, a woman who looked exactly like the mother from his dreams. But he had never seen these people in real life. Had he? One night, desperate for clarity, he called his best friend, Mark. "Hey, it's Daniel." Silence. Then, "Daniel who?" "What?" "It's me, Daniel. We went to college together. We used to." "I don't know you," Mark said firmly. "Stop calling this number." The line went dead. Daniel sat frozen, staring at his phone. He scrolled through his contacts. Half of the names were now blank. Some had been replaced with static symbols. Things like hashtag, 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 or... And he no longer remembered what the missing names were. The next dream was worse than all the others. He was in the apartment again, but it looked different. Cleaner, brighter. He could smell dinner cooking. A woman, the same woman from the photos, stood by the stove. 2 children ran past him laughing. "Daddy, you're home." He smiled. He felt it, a real, warm feeling in his chest. Familiar. Loved. He belonged here. But then the room darkened. The walls turned gray. Cracks spread like veins across the ceiling. The woman turned to him, but her eyes were hollow. Her mouth opened unnaturally wide. "You left us," she whispered. "You left us to die." The children began to scream. He ran. He ran to the door, but it wouldn't open. He turned back. The apartment was decaying before his eyes. The furniture collapsed into dust. The family faded like shadows. Only the little girl remained, standing in the doorway of her old bedroom. "Do you remember now, Daddy?" she asked. Daniel woke up screaming. But this time, he didn't remember why. "Who am I?" Daniel stared at the mirror, his own face looking like a stranger's. His eyes were bloodshot. Dark circles hung beneath them like bruises. His stubble had grown uneven and wild, and there was a small scar on his temple he couldn't remember having. He didn't even recognize his own voice anymore. The apartment had changed too. Cracks had appeared in the walls. The wallpaper peeled back on its own, revealing handprint beneath. Tiny, child-sized prints. Lights flickered at odd intervals. and there was a constant low hum in the air, like a forgotten radio playing just out of reach. He tried to leave again, but when he opened the front door, there was nothing outside. Not a hallway, not stairs, just a pitch-black void stretching forever. It was like the building had swallowed him whole. He called out. No answer. He tried his phone. No signal. No way out. And then he started forgetting the basics. He picked up a spoon and couldn't remember what it was called. He went to brush his teeth and forgot how. When he looked at the calendar, the dates made no sense. It was like time didn't exist here anymore, or he didn't. One evening, he found a photo album on his bookshelf, one he'd never seen before. He opened it. Each page held a photo of the family, smiling at a beach, playing board games, birthday parties. And in every single photo, Daniel was there, not observing, not hiding, right in the middle, laughing, holding the kids, kissing the woman. He turned to the last page. It was a newspaper clipping. The headline read, "Tragedy in Old Town. Family dies in gas leak explosion." Beneath it, a faded photo of the apartment building, the same one he lived in. And below that, a small paragraph circled in red. The father, Daniel Carter, was not home at the time of the accident. Authorities say the gas leak had been reported earlier, but no action was taken. Neighbors claim he was seen leaving the building just an hour before the explosion. He dropped the album. Daniel Carter. His full name. It was him. He had lived here. He had left. His family had died, and he had buried the memories so deep, even he forgot it. The dreams weren't dreams. They were memories. The apartment wasn't haunted by strangers. It was haunted by his own guilt. The forgotten. Daniel sat in the middle of the living room, numb. The photo album lay open in front of him. His hands trembled, not from fear anymore, but from realization. He hadn't been researching the story. He was the story. 10 years ago, he had walked out of this very apartment, ignoring his daughter's cries, his wife's concerned voice, the faint smell of gas. He was tired that day, frustrated. He needed space. He needed air. He left and never came back. The explosion took them all. And Daniel, drowning in guilt and denial, had erased a memory completely. Somewhere along the way, he had reinvented himself. A new apartment, a new job, a new identity. But the apartment waited for him. Memory, guilt, and pain, they had waited too. Now they had reclaimed him. The apartment door creaked open behind him, but he hadn't touched it. Slowly he turned. The little girl stood in the hallway, just like in his dreams. The same white dress, the same sad eyes. "Daddy," she said softly, "you remember now?" He couldn't speak. His throat locked. She walked to him, placed something cold and small in his hand. It was a family keychain, a smiling cartoon dad, mom, son, and daughter. He remembered buying it. He remembered everything. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I didn't mean to leave. The room began to shift. The wallpaper peeled itself back fully. The furniture returned to how it once was. The air smelled like dinner again, garlic and rosemary. He could hear laughter, their laughter. Then it stopped. The little girl looked up at him one last time. "Now that you remember, it's time." He blinked, and suddenly he was at the dinner table. His wife sat across from him, smiling gently. The children giggled nearby, drawing on the walls. Everything was peaceful, warm, complete. Outside, the apartment stood silent. To anyone who passed by, Unit 3B looked abandoned, the windows always dusty, curtains always still. But inside, Daniel Carter was home, finally, completely, tragically. And no one ever heard from the journalist again.